Havana, or online at Havana at least.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah, actually probably in person at Havana.
yes, I think so. You had a session today, right?
I did.
I heard you had some Zoom posters.
Zoom bombers is the appropriate term for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's an actual thing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the FBI have warned about them. Like this is
Oh, you mean we're FBI worthy? Is that what you're saying?
well, not that, what they were warning about is some schools who have online programs have been Zoom bombed, and sometimes they've been putting up like pornographic stuff on the school's Zoom.
Wow.
They did that
So-
today. I don't know if you missed that, but they put porno up today.
On ours?
Yes.
I missed that.
Oh yeah, that was very quick. That's why I was like, okay, we're out of here.
Oh my
The
god.
porno, the swastikas, and then the language was just
Outrageous.
Wow. I'm sorry that you had to experience that. That sucks.
Well, actually, in some ways, I'm glad it happened. Well, I'm not glad it happened, but I am glad
that
it
happened on my
because-
event.
No, partly. I mean, because I have my the Professional Women's Group alumni of Dress for Success. I'm
Right.
hosting online on Saturday. And if this hadn't happened, I would have done what I normally do, which is just put it out there and everybody would have come. And then if that happened, a lot of our clients are in a more,
Sensitive.
yeah, more sensitive, more likely to be impacted than I am, frankly.
Right.
Yeah.
In
You
some ways,
handled
really
it well.
Really happy that it happened now, so I know. And I've actually got a call on Thursday with a potential client who I'm sending a note to saying I've added a password because
Oh, good.
don't want that now. But now I know. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Well, and because of that, I went in and looked at some of because I was looking for the Zoom rooms this morning to do Zoom breakouts. I found all these things that like, why would it be an option to not be verified Zoom person that you would let in? Like, there's just little options that are optional, and I'm like, why is that optional?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, interesting. I learned something too. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to get cooking or do you want to wait a little for other folks? What do you think?
Let's give it 2 minutes, but how about we start with, well, other people might come in, because I know there was one other lady for sure who was interested, but hopefully she could figure it out. Tell us your story.
For sure. So I am Kailey. I am the sauce boss, as I like to say, of Nona Vegan Foods. So I have my line of dairy-free cream sauces. They look like this. And it's based on a recipe that I came up with together with my mom growing up in the kitchen. So they're made with a lot of heart. They're totally plant-based, gluten-free, preservative-free, dairy-free, all the things. So they're good if you've got someone over that has any intolerances, or if you just want to start doing a little meatless Monday action, anything like that. So that's kind of my jam. But yeah, I'm really.
And tell us how, just right at the beginning, since we're right at the top, how did you get them into stores? Because that doesn't just happen. And we are an entrepreneurs group, the entrepreneurcollective.com.
True.
So that's why I really want to support you. And this has got to be the toughest time for someone like yourself this month in Canada, for someone who's got like this launch and this great product out in the stores, and it could just literally, stores are going to evaporate and small businesses are going to evaporate overnight. No matter what the government throws at us for money, it's really not the big, it could go on longer than the government can throw money at, right?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's definitely scary time out there. Sorry for everyone who's struggling and the businesses that have been affected. I have a lot of friends in the restaurant industry, and they are, closing or hurting really bad and very fearful for their businesses, restaurant, catering, events, anything like that. So luckily for me, so far, fingers crossed, it's been okay because people are actually returning more to grocery stores or buying online, and cooking at home. So they're like, we're not used to cooking 21 meals plus snacks all at home every day, all day. A lot of people.
And something I've been looking at that I don't normally, because I bought eggs. I live in Whistler, for anyone who doesn't know that. And so we have, if our road gets cut off, I'm like, okay, what have I got I can store? So I bought eggs that had like a tube, like the boxed eggs.
Right.
I normally don't buy Tetra Packs. I bought milk, cashew milk and almond milk that are good till 2021. How long are your products good for? Because that would make it something that's actually really good to keep in the cupboard.
For sure, for sure. So they are refrigerated and they don't have preservatives. So they're, you know, not going to be good for many, many years, but they've got 6 months on them from when I produce, and they're freezable. So you can, I have customers who are like, I've got 6 in my freezer right now. I'm like, that's fantastic. Thank you. That's amazing. So people are still able to stock up on them. Hey, Meredith.
Hey, Meredith.
How's it going?
Hi.
Hi.
Great to see your face. We missed you today. That went a little crazy.
Yeah, well, I didn't have my video on, but I was there. Went a little sideways.
Yeah, well, we all learned something today. I think that was useful for all of us. That didn't hurt anybody in our group that was watching us. But thank you for sponsoring this afternoon, and we're going to tidy it all up and throw it back up there and make it all look perfect and promote what you gave us. And then Kathy gave us some wine and some stuff too. So yeah, we're going to rock that.
Awesome. I am going to also start making dinner while I watch you make dinner, Kailey.
Yeah, I'm going to head to the kitchen too.
I
Hey, back to you, Kailey. Keep telling us about that food.
Yeah, so I mean, it started like 7 years ago now. I can't believe it's been 7 years. Started really super small, you know, like a lot of food startups in my basement with little glass jars and experimenting and making my roommates try every iteration I came up with. And, you know, it slowly built from there. But I was actually working in the industry at the time, and I was working at a health food store, and they were like, you know, if you want to test launch it here, that's cool with us. So that was a huge blessing. You know, I was so grateful that they let me do that. It took off. A blogger picked it up. Like, it kind of just snowballed from there. And then, you know, like I'm sure a lot of you know in your own individual industries, things like trade shows, industry events, like that's where you go do your B2B side of marketing your business and growing your business. And for me, B2B was, you know, it's what it was all about in the beginning, getting stores. You know, I do B2C. I do talk to my customers, my end users. They're what drive my store traffic. And a lot of the time they come first. It's a bit of a chicken and an egg thing, but ultimately, yeah, I don't know. I am trained.
Well, that'll be me, because I'm going to go buy your stuff, and I've never met, you know, never bought your stuff, and it's been, there you go.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I've got such amazing Nona fans throughout the years, and they've kept me going, you know, and all us entrepreneurs know that it can get really impossibly rough sometimes. So my lovely, amazing Nona fans and customers have kept me on the path. I think just knowing that it can make people's lives easier. It's nourishing people. It's good food, you know. Little Bobby nephew over there with his lactose intolerance can eat it, and the husband likes that it tastes like bacon, and everybody's happy, and it's, you know, it's like.
I'm very excited to hear about the bacon.
Yeah, I know. You got to get that's this one, the bacon carbonara. That one's for you. Here you go.
Okay, excellent. My boyfriend left me 4 slices of bacon in the fridge, and I'm like having one, and then I'm like another one. I'm like cooking one at a time.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And bacon takes a long time to cook, so it just, because I discovered this thing in the secondhand shop. No one's seen this before. It's an old pestle and mortar.
Ooh.
You can go on my Instagram, and I discovered what it does on the gas grill is it keeps the vegetables warm while the bacon finishes cooking. Super fun, and it'll be great for keeping sauces going too. So.
Oh, I love it. I love that. That's awesome.
That's our topic. Yeah.
Ooh, awesome.
Sauceum. You are saucy. All right. I'm going to turn my microphone off, and I'm going to shut up.
Cool. Yeah. If anyone has questions, just like wave at me, or, you know.
Okay. And then also I have uploaded in, you guys, everyone up here has got an invite to our private supper club. And there is the menu, the ingredients up there. And yeah, so when you want to get the ingredients, they're there in the Entrepreneur Collective in the supper club. And the goal is to get together and eat together at some point and cook together. So.
Aw, yay. I'm excited for real life contact one day.
Real. Okay. I'm going on mute.
All right. See ya. So I know that a lot of, I've been vegan for 17 years now. Oh my gosh. Like literally that number changes and I forget. but a lot of what I love to eat at home are rice bowls. And it sounds boring, but I'm gonna make them not boring with sauce and some delicious things along the way. So I've already made my rice. Takes 45 minutes for brown rice, so I started that earlier. You could also do this on quinoa. If you're keto or grain-free, you could do it on a bed of kale. You know, very versatile. I'm gonna try to give a lot of substitutions along the way, recommendations, things that, you know, might make it easier for you. But today we're starting with beans, because that's a canned good that won't go bad anytime soon. So I don't know about all you in quarantine, but I am well stocked up on various beans. Got some black beans, chickpeas, pinto. Today we're going to work with our dark red kidney beans. Just, you know, I picked a random bean. So a can of beans. I've done a pretty small medium dice on this onion. I cut it ahead of time because I didn't want to cry in front of you all, because, you know, it's a new relationship and a lot of vulnerability, but it felt a little much. So we're just going to get our aromatics going. So that means onions. I like me some garlic. I am Italian after all. With my garlic, you know, you can mince it. I prefer to just do kind of long, like almost a julienne garlic style. Keep those garlic bits intact. I personally love to chomp down on a good chunk of garlic when it's cooked. So we're gonna start those off frying in the pan over medium-high heat, because I'm impatient and I never do things over low heat because it just takes too long. So I'm gonna use some coconut oil. Wow, this is like a weight. I'll get my workout. Okay. Hashtag quarantine. So I'm going to start with, you know, 2 generous tablespoons of some coconut oil. You can use whatever oil you have in your cupboard. I like this because it's got a high flash point, so it's not going to burn anytime soon. Boop. Get that going. I love how when you've got onions and garlic frying, somebody somewhere will be like, "Oh, it smells so good in here." And you're like, it's just onions and garlic. But, you know, I get it. Never fails. It really does smell good when you got your aromatics going. That's why they're called aromatics. All right. I'm going to put another garlic bulb in for good measure because, again, Italian, you know, garlic. I'm cutting like up on a box right now, so it's a bit of a winged cutting situation, but I wanted you to see what I was up to. All right. So yeah, these are just in like spears almost. Fun thing to do with these, if you ever want to make tofu, you shove garlic spears up the bottom of your tofu before you bake it, infuse it with garlicky flavor, you know, just for fun. Okay, I'm gonna get our aromatics going in our pan. Very nice, very nice. So, I like to sing and dance while I cook. Anyone else? Just me? All right. Meredith, yeah, dancing in your kitchen. Here's our beautiful brown rice. So, as always with rice, 2 parts water, 1 part rice. I like to put in a little bit of olive oil, some salt. Also, if I've got bouillon cubes kicking around, half a bouillon cube in here, and then your rice is like flavorful to begin with. You don't even need to worry about anything else. You've got flavorful rice. Anyway, there's the rice. Okay. So as far as other things to add into your bowl, I really want to encourage you to use whatever you've got at home. Some things that freeze really well, hot tip from me to you at this time of quarantine. Things that freeze really well, broccoli. So they may not have frozen broccoli at your grocery store because people are out of everything right now, but you can get it, you can chop it up, you can either do little florets or just like, you know, 2-bite chunks, as I would say, and put it in some Ziplocs. Make sure you squeeze out as much air as possible. keep those in your freezer for a time. I've also done that with a big bag of Costco spinach because they didn't have frozen spinach, and I really love frozen spinach. So I just got a big bag, froze it off myself. Green beans freeze really well. What else freezes well? Little carrots, asparagus, that's a lovely green of mine. Today we're working with broccoli because it's what I have in my fridge, but you use whatever green you'd like. I'm just gonna chop these a little smaller. I like them to be more like bite size. Get most of the stem off of there. Ooh, we're sizzling, we're sizzling. Yeah, yeah. Keep an eye on those. Don't let them burn because there's no going back when you got burnt garlic. It's just gotta start again. So keep an eye on those. Maybe turn down your temperature. I know I get a little excited about medium high, but let's make that a little more medium. Beautiful. I like to think of food, meals, dishes, in terms of aspects. My friends make fun of me for this because I call everything an aspect, and they're like, why? I don't know. I just made up the vocabulary for fun. So I like to have a grain or like hearty aspect, a protein aspect, super key when you're vegan, plant-based, or just, not eating meat sometimes. So hearty grain aspect, protein aspect. I like a nice green vegetable aspect, usually steamed or baked or fried, something. And then I love me a good fresh aspect, as I'll call it. So tonight's fresh aspect is going to be red peppers, just little fresh, delicious peppers. Fun pepper tip, did you know the peppers with 4 points on the bottom are sweeter and have less seeds? You knew? Oh my gosh, Meredith, no one ever knows that. I didn't know.
I am so annoying that I order my groceries delivered to the parking lot, and then I go pick it up. I've always done it that way, and I make a little note on my order to please find me peppers with 4 lobes because I almost only ever eat them raw.
Yeah, BFF, you know what's up. So somebody told my partner that in the grocery store when they were shopping. They're like, hey, did you know? And so we've been 4-lobe peppering it ever since. Pro tip. All right, our aromatics are soft, and it's time to add our beans. You want to rinse your beans off because they are kind of, when they come out of the can, they've got aquafaba or whatever on them. And I like to encourage you to season every step of the way. So we're going to throw a little S&P in there. That's salt and pepper in case you didn't get the lingo.
Kailey, will you hate me if I show you what I love to season with? And I also put it in my rice, but it's a nice little secret. Adobo sauce from the dollar store, spice.
Whoa, I love it. That's a great pro tip.
So I actually bring it back from America, and I have, because I stopped traveling back and forth for work. I used to all the time, and I would just bring 1 jar back. I have at least 5 in my cupboards. You can see there's 1 more up there at the top shelf.
Yeah.
Like with the blue. And then I have some more up here as well because I didn't want to run out, but you get them at the dollar store and they're so bad for you. It's like, do you remember the spice? It was like Mrs. Dash, but like,
Yes.
it's a lot like Mrs. Dash. Like, I don't think it's very good for you, but it tastes
Yeah, but you're going to be able to auction those off for $50 soon.
Yes.
I won't tell them that they're 3 or 4 years old already.
That's amazing. No, honestly, I'm all for using random other condiments to make sauces and stuff. Like, I make a barbecue sauce all the time for lentil taco, stuff like that, and ketchup, maple syrup, hot sauce, soy sauce, like, and just like whatever is in my condiment thing. That's a great marinade or a great barbecue sauce, you know. I don't hate you. I love you. You're great. So I'm gonna let those get a little get their spice on. I'm also gonna put the broccoli into a steamer. If you don't have a steamer, don't steam it. Don't sweat it. You can put just like half an inch of water in the bottom of your pot. Put a lid on it. You know, some of it'll be boiled, some of it'll be steamed. It's gonna be great. You're gonna be fine. Okay, so I'm gonna throw my broccoli. I'm a fan of short forms into my steamer pot. I'm not gonna turn it on just yet. This will probably take about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna wait until we're 10 minutes out. Yeah, so let's have a look. Can you smell it through the screen? I can smell it. It smells really good. So our beans are getting a little bit soft. They're well coated in the oil and onion and garlic mixture. A little more salt and pepper. Boop. As well as a 1/4 cup of water. That was more than a 1/4 cup. Oh well. I put a lid on it. If you like it, then you should put a lid on it. And then I'm gonna let that just hang out there for a while while we do the rest of the saucy fun here. Okay, I'm gonna move this demonstration of fresh aspect while we work on our saucy aspect or our creamy aspect. I like to have, with my aspects, they relate to different like food groups and things that you should probably try to have in your diet, you know, like green veggies and fresh fruit and veggies and grains and protein and all that good stuff. But they also relate to mouthfeel because I am a foodie, chefy person after all. So I like to have something a little creamy, something a little citrusy, something a little crunchy, something soft. You know, like I like to think about the whole mouthfeel as I'm preparing a food. So with that in mind, we're gonna run through quickly just 2 really easy sauce recipes. One is a peanut sauce and one is a tahini sauce. The peanut butter, yeah, what do you got there? Ooh, tahini, yeah, tahina.
Speak of like no name brand too. Like I think there's like $4 at the superstore. And I actually put it on my vegetables. I never thought about putting tahini on my vegetables, and it was just never occurred to me. And it was amazing.
Yay! That's amazing. Yeah, it's so good, and it's got some protein. It's got other good stuff in there. It's like
it's not rancid yet.
Tahini's pretty like durable. I've had tahini for a long time and thought for sure it would be bad and rancid, and it's, you know, it's all good.
Actually, it's good till April 2021, so we're good.
Hey, that's great. That'll be the next time you get to go out grocery shopping.
Very possible.
Just kidding, hopefully not. Okay, I'm gonna move my little cutting board thing. All right, I've got a Vitamix. No stress if you don't. These don't have to be Vitamixed. If you don't have a high-speed mixer, Vitamix, even a Magic Bullet, Ninja, any of those things, you're gonna wanna pre-chop your garlic and your ginger a little more than I'm gonna do. I'm a bit lazy because I have a Vitamix. I just throw it in and make the Vitamix do the work. But we're gonna be using raw ginger and raw garlic for this. So you wanna mince it up real fine if you don't have a high-speed blender. If you don't have a blender at all, no worries. You can just stir it really fast and get your workout for the day. I've done it. You can stir it over heat if you need a little help incorporating it. All right, so you probably have tahini, as you do, or peanut butter in your house, or sunflower seed butter if you're a nut-free household, or almond butter if that's what you have. Literally any nut butter will work. I like peanut butter the best. So that's what I'm going to be using. So we're going to start with our peanut sauce. We've got a cup of warm water. I've already got the cup of warm water in there. We're going to do half a cup of peanut butter rather. It seems like a lot of peanut butter. It is, and that's the secret to this sauce being delicious. But you know, it's the good fats. So it's the kind of fuel that you need. So we're going to add that into the blender. Boop, boop, boop. 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Again, use whatever oil you'd like here. I just like me some coconut oil. This sauce is also really good if you have those like those rice Thai noodles, like those Thai stick noodles, and you could do like almost like a peanutty kind of pad Thai style. That was about 2 tablespoons, give or take. Okay. Then we're going to use a little soy sauce action, tamari if you're gluten-free, coconut aminos if you're soy-free. I think that's all the options I have for you there, but soy sauce, you know, regular old inexpensive soy sauce. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of that as well. This is like a 2 tablespoon recipe. A lot of the measurements are just 2 tablespoons. Next up, so we've got our salty aspect. Here I go with my aspects again. Within the sauce, we've got a salty aspect. We're gonna do a sweet aspect, which is maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of that. Whoa, that was probably 2 tablespoons. That came out faster than I thought. Yep, it's okay, I like it sweet. And then 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I am going to, for the sake of time, assume that this one lime is about 2 tablespoons. Limes are notoriously dry sometimes, right? Anyone? I like to pre-stab them, beep, 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 and also pre-roll them before even cutting, just to get the juices really flowing. Guaranteed a juicier lime. You could also use lemon here if you don't have lime. You could also use apple cider vinegar. Really, we just need an acid aspect. An acid aspect. Say that 40 times fast. Okay. Then for our ginger, I said in the recipe a 1.5-inch piece. You know, it's a bit random with ginger and garlic as to what your palate likes. I personally love a lot of ginger and a lot of garlic. A fun hack for peeling your ginger, you know, you cut off all the really like knobbly bits, you know, ginger, it's the worst, you never want to peel it. You can either use a peeler, you can just continue to go at it with the knife, or you can take the back of a little spoon, like just a serving spoon. Let's see if I can do this to camera. You just use the back like that, and it peels off just enough, a little top layer, so you can preserve the precious ginger within. You're welcome. Okay, so this looks like 1.5 inch piece. I'm gonna throw that in there once I peel it. Oh, I didn't get all the knobbly bits. Here we go. So a piece of ginger. This is a pretty big clove of garlic. Now, this size of a clove of garlic to start. Boop. All right. Peanut butter, yes. Warm water, yes. Coconut oil, garlic, maple syrup, soy sauce, lime juice. Oh, and then look at me using more condiments. Hot sauce. Woohoo! I'd say, you know, a teaspoon more if you like it spicy. You could also use some cayenne pepper here, a little red pepper, a little chili flake, as you see fit, whatever spice you like. You know, about a teaspoon. Okay, and we are ready to blend. On my way to blend this, I'm gonna have a shuffle and a boo at our beans back here. Looking good. All right, I'm gonna mute myself because I feel like this is gonna be really loud. 3, Like my little look, Ma, no hands moment. Okay, so yeah, Brenda liked it. Thanks. All right, let's see. Oh, that smells so good. Now, I'm going to pour it back into the bowl from whence it came for sake of, you know, not making too many dishes. Ooh, creamy, dreamy, peanutty, saucy. Do you want to try some, Jay, and tell me what you think? Bringing my partner into this. Oh, that's good. Apparently it's good. See you.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's a good one, eh? I make it a bit different every time, so you never know. But for the sake of following a recipe, I gave you the proper amounts, just so you know.
Can you have a glass of that to drink?
You want a glass of it? Yeah. Can you actually pass me something to put the rest of this into? And then you can give this a little rinse, and then we'll make our tahini sauce. I'm gonna put the broccoli on now for sake of time, because I want to leave time at the end to just hang and chat and, you know, that fun stuff. So I'm gonna turn the broccoli on high, on high. So the next one is a tahini sauce. And yeah, if you just added it straight to your veggies, that's a great use of tahini. Why not? Tahini can be really thick and also really thirsty. I find tahini, it's like you can add some water to it to thin it out a bit, and it just like seems to drink up the water right away. Now I'm thirsty, now that I'm talking about thirst. Look, it's me, tahini. Okay, so this recipe, like the last one, thank you kindly. Oh, look, it's magically cleaned. Oh, never mind, I've got enough water here. So we're gonna start same way we started the peanut butter sauce. And this is also just to show you, these sauces are pretty similar. I've changed a couple little flavor profiles here and there, but you can do the same with whatever you've got in your fridge. If you're like, I wanna do a creamy Italian sauce, well, then you buy Nona Vegan, just kidding. But you could add different spices, you know, like you could add basil, oregano, garlic, you know, that kind of flavor profile. So we'll start with our cup of water, same thing, tahini. Make sure you stir your tahini really well, because there's a lot of oil separation action going on there. It's not fun. Someone needs to, hey, entrepreneurs, can someone solve stirring nut butter and stirring tahini? Can someone please get on that? Because like, it's such a pain point in my life as a consumer of nut butter and tahini. All right, there we go. I'm gonna use lemon in this, just switching up the citrus a bit, because I find when we're eating every single meal at home, we need to really differentiate our flavor profiles so we don't get bored of eating the same thing every night. My sister texts me every day like, I don't know what to eat, everything is so boring, it's the same thing every day. So try and help you out with that. Okay, so adding some lemon. This is a Meyer lemon, I forget, but it looks more orange, like almost like an orange. It's cool. It's what Nestor's had. Squeezing that. Nice and juicy and fairly seedless, actually. But if you have a juicer, you know, do that. If not, I like to juice with one hand into the other hand. This hand will catch the seeds. Obviously, my hands are very clean. I wash them all the time. Boo, boo, boo. Tahini sauce. Cool. Tahini sauce, I'm going to actually add even more ginger than the peanut sauce. In the peanut sauce, the ginger is more of like a background note. And in this sauce, I want it to be more of a feature note. So I'm going to throw in, what did I say in the recipe? 2 to 3 inch pieces, possible plural, of ginger. So there's one. Boop. Ooh, that made a nice boop sound, actually. And then in this one, we're going to do some cumin or cumin. I've been told both ways, and you know, it never seems to be the. How do you all say cumin? Cumin or cumin?
Cumin.
Cumin.
Cumin. Cumin. Cumin.
Cumin, one for cumin, one for cumin.
I've said both at times. I don't know.
Brenda, you're supposed to be our swing vote.
I know, I'm sorry.
Be the tiebreaker. Oh, that's funny.
Cumin, probably.
Yeah, I honestly say both too. So I don't know why I'm giving you a hard time about it.
I tell you, the spoon on the ginger trick. Oh my God! Like, where have you been? This is great.
Right? The spoon on the ginger trick. It's like
Yeah.
then you don't be. Then you're not hacking at your ginger and getting rid of half of the ginger, and you're like, where did my ginger go? You have more. So ginger. Yeah, you are over there. That's funny. Get it? Because they've got red hair. All right, so we've got our ginger. And in this one, I'm gonna also put some extra garlic. So 2 fat cloves of garlic are going into this. You know, why not? And our cumin. I don't know. We don't know. But this is a similar flavor profile to what you would do if you were making hummus, which is surprisingly easy to make at home. Who knew? And it's so much better than the store-bought one. And it's a great weekday snack during times like this. Okay, so we're doing about a teaspoon of cumin. And this one doesn't have any soy sauce, so this one is going to need some salt. Tastes better if you dance. Okay. Also some pepper because there's also no hot sauce going into this one. So we need something, a little salt, a little pep. And back to our rule of 2s. When in doubt, 2 tablespoons. I don't know. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of olive oil. To give it, again, a slightly different flavor profile than the peanut sauce, which had the coconut oil in it. Cool, fantastic. Blending time. Time to watch me blend in silence. Here we go. Imagine I just did the rest of the session on mute. Nobody could tell me otherwise. Okay. So that's
Well, I like that you didn't, nobody thought twice of me dancing with a knife, which is nice.
Oh my gosh, you're literally just, oh, that's scary. Be careful. I'm gonna stop dancing now to stop encouraging that kind of behavior. We must be safe in the kitchen. Okay, here we go. So this one, another delicious creamy sauce with a slightly different flavor profile. Oh yeah, the cumin really comes out in this one. A little ginger. Okay, so both of these super versatile over pastas, stir fries, rice bowls, anything like that. Sounds like our broccoli is almost done steaming. So if your beans have a little bit of excess water in them at the end, as mine do because I added a bit too much water, we're just gonna let that steam off. So take the lid off and just make sure that that gets nice and not totally dried out. We like a nice moist bean here, but you know, this is it's a bit much. Cool. Another really good fresh aspect, as I would say, would be like tomatoes, which I am out of, or avocado, which I am also out of. What do I have? I have a beet. So, right? Loving a beet. You have a beet too? You just got so excited. Hey, turn up the beat. All right, yeah. Oh, I have so many silly vegan puns. All right, so for this, you know, I'm just gonna do little like shreds with my peeler. You could chop it, you could boil this. This could be your boiled veggie aspect, steamed or baked or, you know, anything like that. but I'm basically just making like chips, like beet chips. You actually could fry these and make beet chips if you like those Terra chips. Pro tip there. But this is gonna be my fresh aspect. So
I love spiralizing beets.
yeah, if you have a spiralizer,
I have several now, actually.
fun thing to collect.
Once you start spiralizing, I have the one that sits on the counter, and then someone's like, "Oh, you need the top one," and I'm like,
Oh,
that works great, but it doesn't work for anything really big. And
right.
then I have a food processor, and I've tried the little ones, so down to 2. So, and then I've kind of gone back to using I forgot about the food processor. I'm like, why am I doing this the hard way?
Right? Yeah. Well, food processors are great too. Oh my goodness, I gotta turn my email off. I am living in Vancouver for 6 months. I'm actually from the East Coast. So I am in a subletted kitchen with subpar equipment. But I brought my Vitamix. I drove my Vitamix across the country because like I need it. But everything else is back home. All right. Fresh aspect. Number 1, fresh aspect. Number 2, little red pepper aspect. And like I said, I like to flavor everything along the way, not too strongly because I don't want it to be overpowering. But I've got a little bit of spare lime juice here. If you've got any fresh aspects, it's nice to just, spritz them up. Spritz them with some leftover lime or lemon, something like that. Give them a quick shot of salt. Right. And we are good to go. Look at that broccoli steaming in your face, hopefully not clouding. Yeah, Brenda's like, I'm gonna dump whatever is left of the steaming water. Give me a second. And then I'm gonna dump the broccoli into here. My personal favorite thing to do with broccoli is apple cider vinegar. Just a little tiny bit, ACV, whatever you want to call it. And a little bit of oil. And then you just toss it up. And some salt and pepper, Flavor all the way, yeah. That way, everything tastes good individually, and then we bring it together with the sauce. All right. Here we go. I'm going to, oh, sweetie, can you grab me a bowl so I can show my plating skills? Just kidding. I'm not going to get too fancy on this one. Yeah, let's do the yellow bowl. Thank you. This is my bowl. Here we go. So, again, if you want, you could have done that with a bouillon to give it some nice flavor. I didn't have bouillon, so I didn't do that. I'm gonna put a little lick of coconut oil in there and just like fluff it up a bit. Give it some of its own identity, character, All right. Getting saucy. Oh, this would be a good time to mention that if you don't feel like making a sauce from scratch, one of my sauces that you can buy in the fridge section of your local health food store, like, Nestor's or Stong's North Van. They also deliver vegan supply, lots of places. They're all on my website. But this would be a good time to just have a store-bought sauce, mine or someone else's, anybody's. We've got a cheesy one. This one is good if you're doing like a burrito bowl. You want to have a little like cheesy queso. Ideas, different flavors. Rice bowl every night. All right, here we go. And I put some rice. That feels like enough. I'm gonna do a little broccoli aspect on the sidelines. Boop. Our beans, decent portion of beans. Good, half a cup or something of beans. Probably should have a better serving spoon, but that's fine. Our nice garlic spears are showing through in this. Delicious, delicious. Cool. Then we're gonna do red peppers. Little corner spot. This looks very like restaurant-y. You know, you get the rice bowl and you're like, why didn't you stir it? But it's because it looks nicer this way. And then you get to stir it. A little beet aspect on the side. And let's take a vote. Raise your hand if you think we should use peanut sauce tonight. 1. Raise your hand if you think we should use a tahini sauce tonight. 2. Sorry, Meredith. We'll do it on the other bowl. Yeah, I'm gonna use a spoon for this because this is not gonna end well for me. But needless to say, I am the sauce boss. I like it saucy, so I'm gonna show you it pre-sauce. You can actually see all of our beautiful aspects. Did you just take a picture? Very nice. So this kind of meal is super filling, super nutritious. Didn't take long to make, what, half an hour? I mean, the rice a little bit before, and I've been yammering a whole ton, so, you know. But we're gonna drizzle this on. Oh, y'all. Make sure you get a lot into the rice aspect. You can top with salt and pepper, anything you like. Whatever you've got, you can bring it to your rice bowl. All right, delicious. So that's all, folks. Cool.
That looks great. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. Should I eat it in front of you?
Gotta go find some beans. I have a lot of dried beans because, you know, I figured we're in for the long haul, so I didn't even get tins.
Totally. No, I have dried beans too. Just start them earlier in a bunch of water. Just have them simmering for like 3 hours, or soak them in water overnight. Either way.
And I do a lot of sprouts too. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know how, I think I was talking to you about braising the covers off the sprouts?
Yeah.
Can you just use hot water to get them off, were you saying?
I did. When I used to sprout, I would just use hot water. Yeah. Yeah, you use hot water, strain them. I meant to look this up. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. But yeah, I used to do it I worked at a raw food restaurant, so we're all about the sprouts, obviously, and dehydrated foods and all that good stuff. And we would just have like buckets of sprouts going all over the place. And we just used hot water, quick rinse, and then follow sprout. Yeah, follow sprout protocol after that.
I don't know if you've ever seen these at the superstore, but you can just stack your farm on your counter. It's great.
Whoa, good job. Sprouts are so loaded with all delicious, good nutrients for you.
Well, and they would go great with the bowl too, I think.
Yeah, a little sprout aspect. Oh, I'm done with the aspects.
Thank you so much for doing this today. And I know you're probably pretty busy and you're on the West Coast for a short amount of time. So I feel like we've captured you at the right time. And
hopefully,
I've got the recipe up. We'll invite people to watch this, and hopefully we help you brand as well.
Aw, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been fun. I'm doing another cooking class on Sunday. So if anyone wants to, I think I'm gonna do lentil tacos. I haven't fully decided yet. I'm gonna do a couple different ideas and meal planning because it's, you know, weird times we're in and people need some food inspiration and love, and I can do that. So
absolutely. If you've got an invite, send it to me. And I know there's some other people that I think didn't figure out how to get on tonight. So we'll share you out there if you're interested.
For sure. Yeah. Does anyone have any ingredients that they're stumped with and don't know what to do with in their cupboard that are plant-based? Because I don't know how to do anything with meat or eggs or dairy.
Well, I'll share something that I just discovered because leeks, I love leeks.
Oh.
And hang on, let me grab one.
I love buying them because they're so interesting, and I would love to grow them, but then I only know one thing to make with leeks. So.
Soup?
Yeah.
Are you gonna tell me it's soup? Yeah. I use leeks all the time. You know what? Leeks go really well with eggs. Like instead of the onions or something like, so I use it with like in quiches, and if I do like an omelet or something like that, But I found a way to eat this part of the leek. So you know how normally they're like, just chop it down here and then you only use like the white part. But if you cut this pretty fine so that you don't have to like bite it into pieces, so they're just like tiny pieces, and then fry them in oil and crisp them up a little bit, they're really great. And so I did that and then added them into cabbage rolls, and it was really nice. But just frying them up a little bit, like in high heat, so it really kind of like tenderizes it, and even if it makes it a little bit crispy, that's a fun thing too.
That sounds like me trying to make fake bacon out of rice paper and pad thai sauce.
Good tip, Meredith. I love these. I don't heed the caution of just using the bottom ever. I just use the whole thing. Like, and scrambled, I mean, for me, scrambled food, that's what I love them in that too. So similar to eggs. Yeah. Love me a leek. They're very healthy too. Very good for you. And in season, I think. The farmers markets and close now.
Zucchinis are finally coming out. We've been buying zucchinis that are like this big all winter, and finally like at Nestor's.
Yes, big Mondo ones.
Has anybody got a community garden that they're going to do this year?
I have, well, it's not community, it's just mine. But one of my neighbors several years ago built me a raised garden bed box. So it's like, it's my waist height, but it's about 3 feet deep and like 5 or 6 feet wide. And so I saw that whatever was left over of my chard from last year has started sprouting already. So I have like 4 or 5 chard plants that have started. And then I didn't get any seeds in advance of our lockdown. I don't know where to get seeds now to plant anything else.
Probably mail order would be good. Up in Whistler, you do your community garden because it's got to be only GMO, organic, blah, blah, blah. You actually get all your seeds with your garden. So when you pay for your garden, your seeds. And the trick up here, because we have a really short growing season, I've only lived here for just going into my 4th year. I'm used to living in the Fraser Valley where, February you start your seeds. And baby tomatoes, because the big tomatoes you get maybe you get 10 by the end of the season, whereas if I grow the little cherry tomatoes, I can literally eat fresh tomatoes every single day. So that's my little hack for my garden.
Yes, that's a great idea.
So beefsteak tomatoes are great, but you only get like a leaf, like a limited amount, especially up here because the season's so short. But anytime you pop those things in your mouth, they're so good, and they would be great in any of this stuff. So
totally, yeah. I'm trying to sprout because I also didn't get seeds in time before everything, so I started sprouting seeds from like actual tomatoes. And I'm like, I don't know, but they're like this tall now, maybe.
Oh, really? Because I kept baby tomatoes from last year to dry, and I have peas and beans from last year too. So I'm hoping to get those started, but it's still too soon up here because you probably can't see this. Actually, I'll take you out of my deck.
You have snow there?
Yesterday was like the most insane weather. I don't know how long the Wi-Fi is going to go, but here's Green Lake. Can you see?
Wow.
Oh,
It like snowed and then sun and then snowed. Yesterday was insane.
Oh my gosh.
we got hail at our place earlier tonight.
I was just gonna.
North Van.
Yeah, Dante sent me pictures. He said it was insane. You could watch it roll in.
Yeah,
This is my cousin's house. She got snow and had to cover all of her garden beds.
Wow.
And she's at 23rd, Brenda. So she's really not that far from
Not
you.
that far up from me. I mean, she's up, but not that much farther.
Yeah.
Wow.
We haven't gotten anything down here.
No, we're like clear skies. It's cool, but it's like not.
We had thunder that sounded like it was directly over the house. I don't know if it was, but it sure sounded like it.
Oh my gosh.
It's interesting. I was out walking. So when I texted you, Brenda,
Yeah.
I went out to walk around my neighborhood, which is Norgate in North Van.
Yes.
And I saw like there's a super dark patch of sky, but it was down by where I was, but kind of like over by Lonsdale or further east, I would say. And I heard the thunder as well. So it must have traveled north because we haven't gotten anything. I don't even think it's rained here.
Wow.
And where are you?
I'm in Norgate, so kind of by Lionsgate Bridge.
Okay, yeah. Dante sent me pictures of exactly the same thing, and he's he's about 5 blocks up from Brenda. So
Okay.
not too far, and then just down on the roadside there a bit. So
Yeah. So hail. Hail.
Mm.
okay, Brenda, we didn't hear much from you. What do you normally cook now that you're retired?
My husband cooks, so I don't.
That's Are you gonna cook this though?
Oh yeah, that looks really good. I will actually get this recipe and cook this. Yeah.
Aw.
Well, I hope to share a meal with you guys sometime face to face, live and in person. If you're ever up in Whistler, please come and say hello, grab me for a coffee. I work at Whistler Core Gym as well during the week quite often. And I'm down in Vancouver on the last Tuesday of every month, except obviously today because we are under COVID quarantine and are not allowed to travel around from community to community. And Meredith, thank you for supporting us with once you're open, we'll bring our crowds back over to see you, fill you up.
Awesome.
And thanks everybody for showing up tonight.
Thanks. That was really good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks,
That's
Kailey.
perspective.com. I will post this video up.
Yay, cool.
Bye.
Bye.